Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss is aptitude test. Now, learning objectives of today's topic, aptitude test means you will able to understand the meaning and concept of aptitude test, history and origin of aptitude test, types of aptitude test, difference between aptitude test and intelligence test, and importance of aptitude test. Now, meaning. Aptitude test examination that attempts to determine and measure a person's ability to acquire. Now, what do you mean by an aptitude test? Aptitude test and type of examination that is attempting. That examination is attempting to determine and measure a person's ability. Means person ability, how much able he is to acquire through future training. Means how much he can learn with the help of the future training that he will get. Some specific sets of skills, and there are some specific particular sets of skills that are required for him, that are intellectual skill, motor, and so on. The test assume means the aptitude test assumes that people differ in their special abilities. Means there is a difference between people abilities, special abilities to perform certain tasks, and these differences can be useful in predicting future achievement. And these differences means the differences on the basis of their special abilities help us to predict how they will perform in their future achievements. Now, consisting aptitude and ability tests, multiple choice questions, exam conditions, and strictly time. Now, when we are consisting an aptitude test and the ability test, it is of multiple choice, means so much a question will be there, two or four choices are there, and the student has to select the correct answer from the given choices. Exam condition, what are the exam conditions when they are being implemented? Strictly time means it should be completed in a strict time, means duration should be fixed. Now, questions that can be asked, the aptitude and ability test are of two types. It can be a pencil and paper test. Means some questions will be there, and the respondent has to respond on the basis of those questions, and on the basis of the respondent responses, we will able to know how much, yeah, what was his ability of that particular individual or a child in that particular area. And the second one is an online test. Now, what means the online test? Where a questionnaire will be there, and it is presented or administered on the students through online basis. Means the students will get the link of that questionnaire. The students, after opening the link, they will attempt the questions, and on the basis of his performance on the questionnaire, and that is an online questionnaire, we will able to assess how much he is able and what are his potentialities and abilities. Now, history and origin of aptitude test. Developed during World War means the aptitude test was developed during the World War to know the potentialities and the abilities of the army man person or the common man person who can join the army. Carl Burgingham, a psychologist, developed this test. Means this test was first developed by a psychologist, and that psychologist is called as Carl Burgingham. First used in the recruitment of army. Means that aptitude test was first used when we are recruiting army. Means for giving the jobs in the field of army, called Army Alpha. Now that test is called as a Army Alpha test. Used as a college admission test in 1926, and next it was used in 1926, and it was used as a college admission test that the student has, on the basis of the performances on the aptitude test, will get the admissions in the college. In 1933, James Brilliant Conant decided to start a new scholarship program. In 1938, all the members of school of the college board started using the SAT as a uniform exam, but only for scholarship applicants. Then what happened? Then in 1933, James Brilliant Conant decided to start a new scholarship program. Means a new scholarship program is being started for the students. In 1938, all the members who of the college board started using the SAT as a uniform exam. Means that the student has to give that exams to get the admissions in that particular college, and that exam has to be only for those students who are applying for the scholarship. In 1942, because of the war, means World War started, all the pre-existing colleges board admissions tests were abolished. And pre-existing college board admissions tests were abolished means after the because of the World War II, all the admission tests were abolished so that the SAT become to test for all applicant. So the test which has been used as a uniform exam for the college board for no, for only for the scholarship applicants were used for all the applicants that were there. Now, in 1944, under contract to the Army and the Navy, then that there has been established a contract between the Army and the Navy, administered the SAT to more than 3 lakh people all over the country on a single day. uh, Administered the SAT to more than 3 lakh people all over the country on a single day to know whether they have the abilities or the potentialities to join the army or the navy. In 1948, the Educational Testing Services means a testing services was character and the SAT was on its way to become the basic college admission device for millions. And after the Educational Testing Services that has been established in 1948 was chartered and the SAT was on its way to becoming the basic college admission device. Means on the basis of the performances of the students on this test SAT, only the students will able to get admission from from the college admissions will able to get the admissions. Now, difference between aptitude test and intelligence test. Is there any difference between aptitude test and intelligence test, or both aptitude and intelligence are the same thing? In aptitude, we are judging, we are analyzing the performances, the abilities of the learner. And when we are talking about the intelligence test, it is about measuring the IQ of the learners. We are not talking about the ability of that person. On the basis of IQ, we can say that this individual has that work ability, but aptitude tests are for to judging the performances, to judging the abilities or the potentialities of the learner. Now, intelligence test. IQ denote intelligence as a single measurable trait. Now, intelligence quotient denotes intelligence as a single measurable trait means only intelligence will be measured through the intelligence test. Aptitude breaks that intelligence down into several different characteristics. But when we are talking about the aptitude, it's break that intelligence, the portion of that intelligence down into several different characteristics. Now that different characteristics will suggest how much effective or abilities of the learner in that particular area. It refers more to a broad range of mental abilities. When we are talking about the intelligence test, it is referring more to a broad range of mental abilities of the learners. Aptitude score reflects specialized abilities, and when we are talking about the aptitude test, it is reflecting about the specialized abilities of the learner, the potentialities of the learner in this specific field. So, intelligence test is more related with the mental abilities of the learner, how they are performing at that particular time, how their mental abilities. It's means intelligence test is working with the mental performances of the learner. But when we are talking about the aptitude test, it is reflecting the specialized abilities of the learner or the students. It is not a precise tool for career guidance, not on the basis of the intelligence test, not only on the basis of the intelligence test, we can say that that individual should take a career in that particular field. Means intelligence test is not merely a tool for career guidance to the learners. Not on the basis of the intelligence test, we can guide a student that you can in the future can take this test. But when we are talking about the aptitude test, when we are saying that it is reflecting the specialized abilities of the learner in a particular field, then we can say that on the basis of his performances on the aptitude test, we can guide the students for the career guidance. Now, aptitude test is a precise tool for career guidance. Why? Because when we are administrating an aptitude test to a learner, then what we are doing, we are judging his performances, his abilities on a specialized area. So that on the basis of his performance on the specialized area, we can give the career guidance to a learner or the student. A high IQ score means when a IQ test has been administered to the students on the students, then we will get some scores, and the scores will reflect the IQ of that particular individual. And now, from the basis of the scores which we get from the IQ, we can say that this individual has an high IQ, this individual has an low IQ, or this individual has an average IQ. And now we are talking about a person who is having a high IQ score. A high IQ score by itself would not indicate whether the person is strong or weak. Means the scores which we get on the basis of the intelligence test. When we administer the intelligence test, we get the intelligence quotient, and a person get the high IQ scores on a particular intelligence test. By that particular intelligence scores, we could not indicate, means the scores would not indicate whether the person is strong or weak. Now, the aptitude test provides strengths and weaknesses of a person. And when we are administering an aptitude test to a person, we that aptitude test provides or give us the information that these are the strengths and these are the weaknesses of a particular individual or a person related to that particular area, or we are talking about the specialized abilities. Now, what are the specialized abilities? Abilities of that particular individual in that particular area. So, when we are administrating other tests, then what will happen? We will able to know that these are the strengths and these are the weaknesses of person related to that aptitude test. Now, types of aptitude tests means there are different types of aptitude tests which can be used by the teacher uh, to know the special abilities or the potentialities of the learner. Now, the aptitude and ability test first is verbal reasoning. Means through that aptitude test means when we administer that test, we will able to know about the verbal reasoning of the particular individual upon a learner. We will able to know his particular potentialities, abilities related to verbal reasoning. Numeric reasoning, when we are administrating the test, we will able to know his numerical reasoning ability. For example, you have given him a series of on the 2, 4, 6 and dash. Now, on the basis of his aptitude related to the numerical reasoning, the student or the learner will able to identify or determine what will be the next digit. Abstract reasoning, when concrete things are not in front of the learner. Then when we are talking about the abstract thinking, when concrete things are not in front of the learner or the student, and on the basis of the abstract reasoning, he have to perform certain tasks. Now, spatial reasoning on the basis of the space, mechanical reasoning on the basis of the mechanical data checking, and work sampling. These are the different aptitude tests which can be applied by the teacher, and the different aptitude tests which can be used by the teacher to know or to determine the abilities of the learners for particular area or for specialized area. Now, what is the importance of aptitude test? What is the value of an aptitude test? Means what is the importance of those aptitude tests? Now, the first one, they are excellent predictors of future scholastic achievement. When we are administrating a aptitude test, now what will happen? Aptitude test will give us some score, and that score will be related to his performances or his abilities on the specified area, on the particular area. Means his performance, his scores will define how much he has achieved in that particular area or in that particular field. Now, they are excellent predictors of future scholastic achievement. When I am administered the test, I will get the scores, and on the basis of the scores, we will able to know how that particular individual, will perform in that particular area, or how much he will achieve in that particular area, and what was will be his achievement, scholastic achievement in that particular area. So what we are saying that the aptitude tests are a excellent predictors, means on the basis of the aptitude test we can predict how the student will perform or achieve in future. They provide ways of comparing a child performance with that of other children in same situation. Now, the aptitude test provides way of comparing. Comparing means we can make a comparison on a child performance, how he is performing with that of other children, means a comparison will be there of two children. But these two children should be in the same situation, in the same condition. Then only we will say that a fair comparison has been established between the performances of these two particular individuals. Now, they provide means aptitude test. They provide ways of comparing, means with the help of the aptitude test, it's a way of comparing a child performance with that of other child in the same situation. Now, they provide a profile of strength and weakness. Means when a aptitude test has been administered to the individuals or the learners, then we will able to know what are the specific strength and what are the specific weaknesses of the learner in that particular area. Means aptitude test is related, or we will say that aptitude test is measuring or assessing the performances, the person performances, and on the basis of the performances, how well he has mm, done or given the test, and on the basis of his performances on the given test, we will able to assess the strength, that these are the strength of that particular individual in that particular area, and these are the weaknesses of that particular individual in that particular field or area. They assess differences among individuals. Means uh, with the aptitude test, we will able to assess, we will able to measure differences. What are the differences among individuals, among different individuals. Is on the basis of the aptitude test, differences can be sort of between different individuals. Now, they have uncovered hidden talents in some children. Now, when you have administered an aptitude test on the particular individual, now you will get to know about the strength and weaknesses of that particular individual. But sometimes, through the strength, when you able to know that these are the strength of that particular individual in that particular area, then on the basis of that, you will able to uncover the hidden talents of that particular individual in that particular area or the specific area. They have uncovered hidden talents. Means what will be uncovered hidden talents? Who will help the teacher to discover the hidden talents of the learner? This is the aptitude test. In some children, thus improving their educational opportunities. And you will then you will able to know that these are the hidden talents, these are the strength of the particular individual in that particular area. Then that knowledge will definitely help the learner or the teacher to improve their educational opportunities, means on the basis of their performances, on the basis of their abilities in that particular area. We will give him the career guidance, what programs should be adopted by him in the future. They are valuable tools for working with handicapped children. Means the aptitude test is also be called as a valuable test tool because when we are working with the handicapped children. Group aptitude test, quick and inexpensive, means when we are administering a aptitude test on the students, then we are able to get quickly the results related to the strength and weaknesses of the learner in particular areas on the specific areas. And inexpensive means we do not have to spend too much amount of money when we administrating a group aptitude test on a class on a particular individuals or the learner. So we are saying that group aptitude tests are quick when we are administrating it, and it's an inexpensive also. Aptitude tests are valuable, means it has some value, it's important in making program and curricular decision. Now, on the basis of the performances of the learners, in particular aptitude test, that after administrating that we get the some scores, and on the basis of the performances of the learner, we will able to value or valuable that scores will be of very important in making future programs and curriculum decisions, and when we want to take certain curriculum decisions, when we want to develop a curriculum related for the modification of the curriculum, improvement of the curriculum, means that information will be very beneficial for the curriculum makers also. Uses in personal selection means the use of aptitude test in personal selection. In when we are talking about the personal selection in that area, the aptitude tests are also very useful. Now, instructional for giving the instruction guidance, for giving the guidance in that particular area. Occupational purposes, that these are the occupations which you can opt for by the individual in their future. So the aptitude tests are helping in these ways, means in the form of giving the instruction, guidance and occupational purposes to the learner. On the basis of the performances on that, we can offer different occupations, and on the basis of the performances we can guide the learner that you can offer these careers instructions, and on the basis of their performances we can change our instruction methodology, and also that the maximum students will be benefited from it. Now, what are the future scopes of aptitude tests? The first one is employers can assess the cognitive capabilities of potential employees. Means with the help of the aptitude test, when the aptitude test will be administered on the employees, then what will happen? When that test will be implied on them, we will able to know, we will able to assess the cognitive capabilities of the employees in that particular field. Employers means those who are giving the job can assess. They have the can assess. They can measure. They can make an assessment. The cognitive capabilities or the cognitive abilities, the abilities, potentialities, capabilities of potential employees. What are the cognitive capabilities, abilities of potential employees by the employers? Student can understand themselves as a student will able to understand what are the weaknesses, what are the strong points of it is on the basis of his performance. So a student can understand themselves means they can assess their performances, their strength, their weakness by applying a aptitude test on him and their own cognitive abilities, and they will be able to know that these are my cognitive abilities in that particular area, changing as per the situation. And changes can be done according to the performances, according to the scores that you will got on the basis of the aptitude test. Now, test blueprint. Test title aptitude test. When you are trying to prepare a blueprint for the aptitude test, then that test title will be aptitude test. Now, why aptitude test? Because it is measuring the aptitude of the learners. Purpose intelligent level means you will able to assess the intelligent level of the learners through the aptitude test. Means this is a specific purpose. Thinking as per the situations means whether you are able to think as per the situation or the condition. Simulation, how you are stimulating towards that condition. Aspects of the curriculum. These different aspects of the curriculum are also included there. Conditions of the test means these should be the specific conditions that are necessary when you are going to administer that particular test. Now, what can be the condition? The atmosphere should be quiet. There should be a proper light arrangement. The test taker should, or the person who is taking the test should have the complete knowledge of that particular test, how to administer that test, and these are the conditions of the test that should be fulfilled when you are administering that particular test. Now, data analysis and interpretation, you have administered the test, and on the basis of the scores, you will get some data, and you have to analyze that data and interpretation, and then on the basis of the analysis of the data, you have to interpret it. For example, you have administered an intelligence test on the learners, and after that, you will get some scores that the A individual get 20, B individual get 40, or C individual get 100. These are the raw scores that you get after administrating an intelligence test. Now, what will happen? That these are the scores, and on the basis of those scores, you make an interpretation. Now, interpretation can be on the basis that the person or the learner who is getting 20, it can be said that he has below average IQ. A person who has get 30 score, people can say that that individual has a average intelligence, and the person who is getting 100, then we will say that he has a above average intelligence or IQ. Now, that is what data analysis and interpretation. Now, analyze these questions. When we are administrating a test, we have to analyze, make a analysis of each questions, how individuals have performed on that particular question. Now, difficult level means only some people were able to attempt those questions, and these are the difficult level. Question number 11, 3, 14, 15, 2 means some test items are there judging the performancing or assessing the your aptitude test, and these are the difficult questions means only some students will be able to solve these questions. Medium level means these questions will be solved by more people or more individuals in comparison to the difficult level. Now, easy. Question number 5, 4, 1, 16, 18, 12, 13, 7, 6, 4. Now, these are the test items that are of easy. Means maximum number of students will able to attempt these questions, and on the basis of the scores that we have get, we will analyze how many students are able to solve the difficult level, how many students able to solve the medium level, and what is the percentage of solving the easy type questions. Now, on the basis of that, logical 32%, visual 23%, alpha series 16%, verbal 14%, mathematics 11%, and GK only 4%. Means this is the difficulty level of the student. Now, item analysis examines student responses. Now, item analysis means analysis of each and every item. Examine student responses, how students are responding. What is the response of the learners? Valuable in improving items on the basis of their performances, on the basis of their responses. We are able to improve the value of those particular items. Completely fertile process. It is a completely a fertile process. Now, today we have discussed about the aptitude test, meaning of the aptitude test, concept of aptitude test, importance of aptitude test, uh, types of aptitude test, difference between an intelligence test and the IQ test, or an aptitude test. Now, you can refer these references for further reading on those particular topics. Now, let us discuss some MCQs, as MCQs are the best tools to measure the outcomes of the learner. Now, the first one is dash examination that attempts to determine and measure a personal ability to acquire. Which is that examination, or what do we call that examination that attempts to determine that particular exam tries to determine or to find out and measure how much he has got a personality, a particular individual ability to to acquire something, to acquire the new knowledge, to acquire the new skills. Now, options are A, aptitude test, whether it is an aptitude test that is helping in determining and measuring a person's ability to acquire some facts. Achievement test means whether it is an achievement test that attempts to determine and measure a person's ability to acquire. Interest is whether it is an interest test that is attempting to find out and measure a person's abilities to acquire. Attitude test, whether it is an attitude test, to measure the attitudes of the learners. Now, these are the options A, B, C, D. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the choices, and the correct answer is option A, that is aptitude test. Now the second one is aptitude test assumes that people differ in their dash. Now, aptitude test means aptitude test is assessing that people are differ in their special what. And now the options are A, abilities means they are whether they are differ in their abilities. Needs means aptitude test assume that people differ in their special needs. Interests, what are their interests? Quality, on the basis of the aptitude test we can assume that people differ in their special qualities. Now, these are the options, and now, students, you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer is option A, that is abilities, means on the basis of the aptitude test, we are assuming that people differ in their special abilities. Now, dash a psychologist develop aptitude test. Which psychologist develop the aptitude test? Now, the options are A. Paul Binding, C. Alexander, or it's D. Jackson. Now, psychologist has developed the aptitude test, and answer is option that is Carl Bingham. Now, the fourth one, dash test is first used in the recruitment of army called Army Alpha. Means which test has been used first time when we are recruiting or giving jobs to army people in the field of army, and that is called as the Army Alpha. Now the options are A, aptitude test, whether it is an aptitude test; B, achievement test, whether it is an achievement test that is being used for recruiting in army; entrance test, whether it is an entrance test which they fight; attitude test, whether it is an attitude test to how they have performed. So the correct answer is option A. That is, it's an aptitude test which is first used in recruitment army called Army of FIFA. Now, IQ denotes intelligence as a single measurable dash. Now, what IQ denotes in intelligence? Now, what is that? A single measurable that can be measured, and what is that? Options are trait, whether it is a trait; B, it's an opinion; C, ability; or it's a D, unit. So what is that? These are the options, and you have to select the correct one. And the correct answer is yes, students. Now the correct answer is option A. That is trait. That means an denotes intelligence as a single trait. Now the sixth one, dash breaks that intelligence down into several different characteristics. Now, which is breaking the intelligence down into several different characteristics? Now, the options are A, aptitude; B, achievement; C, attitude; or it's D, one, opinion. Now, you have to select the correct answer from the given choices, and the correct answer is yes, the correct answer is option A, that is aptitude. Means aptitude breaks the intelligence down into several different characteristics. Now, the seventh one, aptitude are excellent predictors of future. Now, means the aptitude test will be used to predict how much they have able to learn, or they able to grade results. What type of predictors that aptitude test will be used to scholastic. Now the options are A, achievement; uh, or it's the objective. So these are the options A, B, C, D, and now you have to select the correct answer. And the correct answer is achievement that aptitude tests are future scholastic achievement predict their answers on the aptitude test. The A provide ways of comparing with that of other child in the which test can be used by a teacher, expert, provide is giving some information when we are trying to compare a child performance with whether it is an aptitude test, B, achievement test, option C, aptitude test, entrance test. Which test? And now the answer is option A, that is an aptitude test that how a child will perform and we are able to make a comparison between two child performances on the same situation. Now the option 9 is valuable in making programs and curriculum decisions. Now which you have to give importance and curriculum decisions. You place value or importance in making programs and curriculum decisions. Well, option B, achievement, whether it is an achievement test that is being used or giving importance, and on the basis of that, we are making programs, making curriculum, or making decisions related to the curriculum. C, opinion, whether it is an opinion. So D, attitude test, whether it is an aptitude test, what is the attitude of the learners in that particular area. That is that in making programs and curriculum test. Now, the 10th one dash aptitude tests are quick and inexpensive. When we try which type of aptitude test should be used to get quick results and you do not have to spend too much amount of money means it should be inexpensive. Now, whether A, option A, that is a group, B, individual, C, part, or it's D, full. So these are the options, students, and you have to select the correct answer. And the correct answer is option A, that is a group in the aptitude tests are quick to get the results. You can apply a group aptitude test, and it is inexpensive also. Now, thank you, students. With this particular narration, we try to understand about the concept and meaning of aptitude test. And after that, we try to find out that the aptitude tests are related to the specific abilities of a specific individual in a specific field or area. Then we come to know that there is a difference between intelligence test and an aptitude test. Intelligence test is only focusing on the mental abilities, but when we are focusing on the aptitude test, means on the basis of the performances on the aptitude test, we'll be able to find out the strength and weaknesses of a particular individual in that particular field. Now, then after that, we will able to find out the types of aptitude tests, importance of aptitude test. In the next class, we will discuss about the attitude test. Thank you so much.